What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the AK Show with your boy AK the Ref. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody is having a fabulous day so far. Thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You know, on the YouTube channel, we here, we building, we growing. Let's get it today. I have a very special episode. The brand new movie. Well, it's not brand new, but one of the summer movies came out a few weeks ago. I'm talking about Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I went to see it a few weeks ago, and I gotta say, this one really hit a lot of the right notes for me. This is me personally. If you're a fan of the franchise, or even if you just love action movies in general, this episode is for you. I'm gonna break it all down from what I loved about the movie, from how it stayed true to everything that we've come to love and expect from the Mission Impossible franchise, to some cool callbacks from the original film. Yeah, if you saw it, you know what I'm talking about. And even the emotional weight that the movie carries, especially with some major character moments. And of course, we're going to talk about the action because, let's be honest, if you don't love the action in a Mission Impossible movie, what are you even doing here? So stick around because I'm giving you my honest review and why this movie worked for me. Let's get into it. First of all, we gotta start with something that was super important to me about this movie. And anytime you're talking about just a movie franchise in general, is how it stayed true to the theme and tone of the earlier Mission Impossible movies. You know how the series has its signature vibe? That mix of high stakes espionage, clever tactics, and the edge of your seat suspense. Every time you watch a Mission Impossible movie, you have to be on the edge of your seat because you never know what's going to happen. Because Ethan Hunt has to go through some crazy ass sequence, fighting, action sequence, or whatever the case may be. He's got to do something crazy. And that suspense is there. Like, is he going to make it this time? The Final Reckoning didn't try to reinvent the wheel or go too far off into something new. It kept that classic Mission Impossible flavor that we've come to love and like and expect from Mission Impossible franchise and all the movies from the franchise. And I appreciate that. The storytelling felt familiar in the best way, the pacing, the way the characters interacted, the use of suspense and twists, and it felt very in line with what made this franchise a fan favorite for decades. It makes you fall in love with this franchise. Like you look at it and it's just like it gets bigger and better, but it stays true to what it's done over the decades, from the first Mission Impossible to this current one of The Final Reckoning. It didn't lose sight of what fans love, and that respect for the series' roots really made it feel authentic. You can tell the filmmakers knew what fans wanted to see, and they delivered. They delivered, and I really do truly appreciate that about what this movie brought. Speaking of respect to the franchise, one of my favorite parts of the movie was the callback to the very first Mission Impossible movie. It took me a moment to realize it, but then they said his net. Then I think Benji was the one who was like, "That's you're." And then it took me a minute to realize, I was like, that's the guy from the first one they sent it to Alaska. I was like, that was such a cool nod for the longtime fans. If you been with the first Mission Impossible until now, that was cool. And I love stuff like that. When you see a character like that, like William Dunlow, who had like a small part, and the reason he's there is because of Ethan Hunt, but now he's got somewhat of a major part in the climax of this movie. And that creates having that character return like that, like something you didn't expect, but having like a character from, he was in the first one, now he's in the last one of Ethan Hunt's arc. He's in the last one, and it kind of nets that bridge between the past and the present, because that happened there, this happened there, and he still had the original knife that he saw when it fell into the secure room he was in working. When Ethan Hunt, when the knife fell, he still had the original knife. I was like, that, to me, that is great storytelling, and that just makes it feel organic and meaningful. It's that kind of detail that rewards fans who followed the whole series. If you were there from Mission Impossible 1, until Final Reckoning, you get that and you appreciate that. And I think that keeps the movie grounded emotionally because it reminds us of how far the story and characters have come. Little moments like that go a long way in making a new movie feel like part of something bigger, a connected universe. It feels like it's connected to something bigger, and we got this connected universe. And I fucking love that, and I fucking appreciate that to T. And bravo for that, because I did not expect that. And maybe other people did. Maybe you read some reviews. Maybe you saw that he had a credit in the movie. I don't pay attention to all that. I just see the trailer, and if I want to go see it. I knew I wanted to go see it when it came out. I don't want to see any spoilers. I don't want to know. I want that to be a surprise for me, because that's how I love going into movies. I want to be surprised, so I don't really try to read anything online. So that brings me to my next point. Let's talk about some of the characters who really made this movie stand out. Aside from Tom Cruise playing Ethan Hunt, we gotta talk about the two villains in the movie. Gabriel. We'll start with him. Gabriel. He was a fantastic antagonist through this one, part 2, and then the Final Reckoning. He was truly a thorn in Ethan Hunt's side. I mean, the character Gabriel brought out a mix of intelligence, menace, and unpredictability that made every encounter with him intense and gripping. He wasn't just a villain for the sake of being evil. He had his own agenda and charisma that made the conflict feel personal, and you could feel the high stakes as well. Because Gabriel was just like, he was there and he disappeared, and it helped, because alongside Gabriel, the reason he's able to be that type of villain was because of the entity, the AI, which they called the entity. The entity added a modern twist to the threats Ethan and the team faced, as well as the rest of the world, because the entity was trying to control the whole world and destroy the world so it could just survive and restart humanity, basically. But this AI, the entity, brought a cold, calculating presence to the story. It's just a reminder of how technology can be both a tool and a weapon in today's world. We're here in the AI world, and you got to be able to control it. You can't let just technology just run everything. There's got to be people, humans, that have some say in it, because technology can be a dangerous weapon. It can be good, but it can also be in the wrong hands. It can be a dangerous weapon. And they incorporated the AI entity, very well into this plot from Dead Reckoning into the Final Reckoning as a villain. And it gave a fresh edge and made the stakes feel even higher. It really did. You thought, like, how are they going to stop something that knows what the hell you're going to do before you even do it and can see all the possibilities? It reminds me of what Avengers Infinity War, where Doctor Strange is looking at all the possibilities. He looks at 14 million possibilities, and there's only one where they win. That's this. You're trying to fight the AI that can see all the possibilities. So now you have to think different than the AI and do things that it doesn't expect you to do. So bravo for the anti-heroes, the antagonists, Gabriel and the entity AI, fabulous villains, something that makes the stakes a lot higher than they normally been in Mission Impossible movies. But I also want to give a shout out to Haley Atwell, who delivered a strong performance in this one and part 1 in Dead Reckoning, that she added a fresh dynamic to the team. Her character was smart, capable, and she brought a lot of depth to the story. She's somebody that was new that we got introduced into part 1 of this last Mission Impossible movie, and then she was in this one. And I'm a fan of Haley Atwell. Like Agent Carter in the Marvel world, I'm a fan. So when she was on part 1 in Dead Reckoning, I was like, I'm a fan. I was already a fan. I already enjoy what she does anyway. So I thought having her in there was great, and she was great. And of course we got to mention Simon Pegg as Benji. He's been there. Benji's been there. Benji's one of the originals, just along with Luther. And I'm gonna get to Luther in a minute, but Benji has his mix of humor and heart, which balances out the intensity perfectly and keeps the team grounded, because he brings a different dynamic. Each character brings a different dynamic in Mission Impossible, and he's the one that brings that humor, which is needed in situations. Sometimes you need humor to lighten the mood and break that ice and break that tension. You know what I'm saying? But there are other key players too who added to the story But these performances really stood out. These performances to me really stood out and helped the movie be more engaging on that character level. Because you've seen Benji's character, you've seen Ethan's character, you've seen Luther's character. Throughout it, there's been different other female leads in the movie, and now we're with Haley Atwell's character, who's Grace. Before that, the previous two movies, but she got killed by Gabriel in Dead Reckoning. So, but when you have the characters, it really makes a movie. You just can't have the action. You gotta have the characters. You gotta have the development of the characters. Which brings me to the next one. This moment in the movie did surprise me. I really didn't think about it, but the early death of Luther, that one hurt, because Luther, Vin Rames, who plays Luther, was a great character. He brought that character to life. Anytime he show up, now he wasn't. He'd show up, and when he show up in the movies, in each movie that he was in, he brought that friendship. He was like Ethan's friend. He knew Ethan to the core. He knew how to work with Ethan. He was always by Ethan's side. Death early one, really, it did shock me. To be honest, I didn't like it. Like I said, he's been a fan favorite. So seeing him go that early in the movie, that was sad. It was sad, but it worked on a deeper level, right? His death raised the stakes in a way that made the story feel much more urgent and real. Because now it's like, shit, Luther's dead. Anybody else can get it next. G, Grace, William Dunlow, his wife, anybody, the rest of the world, Ethan can get it. Nobody is safe. That's what it made it feel like. It made like, shit, nobody's safe. Nobody that Ethan cares about is fucking safe. Seeing that moment early on in the movie made you realize nobody's safe, right? Listen, it's one thing to have the big world and its stakes in a movie, but when it's the people you care about who are directly threatened or lost, it does hit different. It really does. When the people you care about could potentially lose their life, yeah, that makes the stakes feel more personal for Ethan and the team, and for the audience, because you've come to love these characters over the years from Mission Impossible 1 until the Final Reckoning. And it made the tension even higher because you realize, like I said, nobody is safe. Nobody is safe at all. And so that gave the choice of killing Luther early on in the movie, it gave emotional weight that I wasn't expecting, and it added depth to the characters' motivations. It made the action and the danger feel more meaningful and not just flashy. We're not just doing action for action. Like, there's a point to this action. Why are we doing this? Shit. People that I love, I know it's the world is at stake, but it's also the people that I love that I don't want to lose. Because if I lose them, I save the world, but I lose those people I love, it's not going to feel the same when you got to continue living and you don't have those people that you love. So bravo to them for that. We got to give it up. Got to give it up for the writers for that. Got to give them the credit. So let's get on to what most of you probably are waiting on. The action. Yeah, the action in this one. Whoo! Listen, we know Mission Impossible is known for delivering some of the most intense and creative action scenes in cinema. And this movie did not disappoint. The action felt bigger and more thrilling than ever. Even when my wife was watching it, she's like, I can't take no more of this. How much can he survive? Like, literally, that was her. That was her. Her jaw-dropping stunts. Her jaw was dropped in some of these. The high-speed chases and well-choreographed fight scenes. I was on the edge of my seat throughout the entire movie when it came to like the action sequences. What I really loved was how the movie balanced partial effects with just enough CGI to keep things believable and exciting, especially because there's moments that honestly made you hold your breath, like sequences where Ethan Hunt pushes himself to the absolute limit physically and mentally. Especially you can tell Tom Cruise does a lot of his own stunts, and I've seen videos where he does his own stunts, like in Dead Reckoning, part 1 of this movie, when he does the motorcycle and goes off the cliff. He did that on his own. He did it multiple times. He did multiple takes of that. I saw, you love that, and it adds that layer of him doing his own stunts, makes it authentic. And it's not on some fucking it's not on some green screen, some giant green screen where it looks like he's doing it and put effects. No, he's doing those fucking action sequences, those stunts himself. And that's what makes it beautiful. Like him going down the submarine and doing all that. He did that shit. He did that shit. Him fighting Gabriel on the plane, him flying the plane and doing all and jumping off. He did that. He does his own stunts. And you have to give that man his due, and that's what makes this action feel so authentic and real. It's great. It never felt overdone. It never felt exhausting. It just felt like you were like, oh God, I got through that. There can't be much more after that. And then it's like, what? But it makes you, it doesn't feel exhausting. Like you get exhausted after, I put it this way, you might get exhausted, but then you'll get back up and you'll be like another action sequence where it's like, he's really doing that. Damn, is he going to survive this one? It felt like the stakes kept rising, and every sequence built on the last one to keep the adrenaline pumping. So that's why you never got fatigued, because you just felt like it got this one. Oh shit, what more is going to happen? That's exactly how it felt, and I loved every bit of the action, especially Tom Cruise doing his own stunts. So on top of all that, the movie, it really ramped up the stakes for the world at large. Like now it just wasn't a personal mission anymore. It's about the fate of the entire world. Normally, it's always about the fate of the entire world, but truly, this made it feel like it was, the world's in fucking jeopardy. The entity and Gabriel, now, at one point in the movie, they're not on the same team. They want world domination. They want fucking power, right? And the entity is trying to control all the nukes around the world and shoot them off all at once. So I thought the way that they presented these global stakes was clear. It was compelling without feeling overwhelmed. It kept the audience interested in the big picture while still balancing the personal stories of all the characters. Like, you knew this was happening. The world's at stake, but we also got the personal connection with all the characters, the meaningful characters. That you got that. And you got the world is at stake. And it brings that mix of personal loss and global crisis created great tension that drove the movie forward and kept you interested throughout. You gotta have a good plot, and you also gotta have good characters, and those characters have to be well written, and they have to be able to be projected onto the screen with those stakes involved, with the plot and everything like that. And they did that. I fucking loved it. So with that said, before I get out of here, before I get out of your hair, and you can hear this is my review on the whole Mission Impossible movie, The Final Reckoning. I thought it was solid. I thought it was a thrilling ride that stays true to what makes the series great. It respects its roots with those callbacks. It delivers high emotional stakes with characters like Luther getting killed off in the movie, and it keeps the action next level. I also want to give a big nod to Tom Cruise. His dedication to the franchise and the fact that he still does so many of his own stunts. Like I said, that really makes this an enjoyable movie theater experience. Him doing his own stunts, because you see the authenticity of him doing his own stunts. That's him. Because there's sometimes you see somebody that has a stunt person, a stunt man, or a stunt woman, and you can say that's not them. That's Tom Cruise right there. And honestly, I love going to the movies. I love it. There's something about watching a film like this on the big screen with that immersive sound and energy that you can't get at home. I would tell anybody, just because you have your own little movie theater, mini theater, the fucking screens is fucking humongous. You got the surround sound from every fucking where. You're in the seats, you got your popcorn, you got your candy, you got your drink, you got whatever snacks you have, and you're sitting in a movie theater and you're watching it on the big screen, and it's beautiful. And I just can't get enough of it. I've been to the movies 3 times already. And we saw Lilo and Stitch. We saw Mission Impossible, and then we just saw Jurassic World. And now I'm waiting on Fantastic Four. Yeah. So I love going to the movies. I don't think movie theaters are ever going to go away, because you have an experience like this, like watching this movie, that reminds you why it's so special to go to the movie theaters. And you go to the movie theaters and it's packed. People are still going to the movie theaters. They said years ago, movie theaters are going to be obsolete, because now with streaming, and then they're going to do this thing where this is going to release the movie and you pay like $20 and you can watch it at home. I thought that was going to be the way, and I didn't want that to be the way. And now they have a lot of movies that come on Netflix or HBO or Amazon originals, things like that. But then you go to the movies and you see a movie like this, or you see a Marvel movie. Because I damn sure don't want no Marvel movie to come out and not be in movie theaters. No, that's big screen. So I love going to the movie theaters. It's like F1. We're planning to go see F1 with Brad Pitt this weekend. That's a movie theater movie. That's not at a home movie. I mean, yeah, you're gonna watch it. Like, if you don't get a chance to go to movie theater, yeah, you'll watch it. But that's something you gotta see on the big screen. There's just certain movie. I just want all movies to be on the big screen because that's where they deserve to go. That's where even stuff that comes out on Netflix or Amazon, they deserve to go to the movie theaters. Whether it's a long run or a limited run, you care. Every movie I think deserves the opportunity to go to the movie theaters. Because if you're making a movie, a film, it deserves to be in that movie theater. You should be making that film in mind that this belongs in IMAX. If you're going to AMC, or if you're going to Cinemark, it belongs in XD. We just got done watching Jurassic Park on the XD. I wish I could have seen Mission Impossible on like IMAX or the XD. We went to AMC to watch Mission Impossible on the big screen. It was great. I loved it. Like I said, so if you're a fan of this franchise, this one's a must see. I don't know if it's still out in movie theaters. If you get a chance, go watch it in the movie theaters. Go watch it. If you're looking for a high quality action movie with heart, this one's great. I love this movie. I give it a 10 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I was thoroughly entertained, invested from start to finish. Listen, you know what? Listen, I don't have that much. I go into movies and I have expectations, but at the same time, some movies I'll have high expectations. I had high expectations for Mission Impossible and it lived up. When I go see F1 this weekend, starring Brad Pitt, I don't really have any expectations. I didn't really want to go see it, but they've been doing a great job marketing the fuck out of this movie. Because every time I'm watching TV or I'm on my phone, I swear I see multiple ads a day for that movie, and now I fucking want to go see it. I just want to go see it. I have no expectations. I really don't. Expectations I had for Mission Impossible because I wanted to see it. High. Did it live up to those expectations? Abso-fucking-lutely. 10 out of 10. So, that's all I got for today. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you've seen the new Mission Impossible movie, The Final Reckoning, let me know what you thought. Did the Luther moment hit you as hard as it did me? What was your favorite action scene? What was your favorite part of the movie? Drop your thoughts in the comment or hit me up on social media. Just look for AK the Ref. Literally, you'll find me. AK the Ref. You'll find me. I want to know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next episode. We'll be back, and I'm not sure the next topic, but please tune in for the next episode because we're going to be here. We're going to do the thing. But until next time, I'm out. Peace. Let's get it.